How much are you willing to pay to avoid an awkward conversation? Alexandra Dickinson, a negotiation expert, posed this question, and my expression might as well have been that mind-blown emoji. It's such a simple question, and it's truly at the heart of this entire chapter. If it's a 5% raise, are you willing to pay that much to avoid the 10 seconds of awkwardness it would take to ask about it? Continued Dickinson. And also, the worst they can say is no. As if this simple question weren't enough to reframe anyone's thinking when it comes to discussing salaries with coworkers, Dickinson went on to share a story about a client of hers, a story so nearly unbelievable that it has the potential to morph into an urban legend. I can already hear it being cited at happy hours a decade from now, with the starting line, "Well, my best friend's cousin's coworker?" Alexandra Dickinson says, "A client of mine who worked at a global company where there were many, many people in her role across the organization spoke to her colleagues who'd been hired around the same time and had similar education credentials. My client found out she was making $10,000 less, and she went into her boss's office and said, 'I happen to know some folks around here are making a lot more than me, and I'm curious about that.' Her boss responded that he was surprised to hear that because there is a pay grade in place and salaries shouldn't be that far off from each other. The boss double-checked the salary, and it turned out there had been a typo when she was hired. Someone simply typed in the wrong number in the payroll system, and that was it. She got back pay, she got a raise, she got everything. What I love about this is that she was respectful and evidence-based. She didn't go in guns blazing, and she didn't jump to conclusions. She went in with information and questions and an open mind and had a conversation that led to a result that she should have had to begin with. Plus, it strengthened the relationship." Obviously, not every salary disparity will be quite so straightforward. But what I do love is that Dickinson's client could have gone on for years, perhaps her whole career, earning significantly less than her coworkers and much less than she deserved if she hadn't just faced the potential awkwardness of directly asking, "How much do you make?" In my own life, asking fellow self-employed friends about how much they've made, are making, or would charge for certain work has brought me tens of thousands of dollars more than I would have otherwise negotiated. Literally. The first time I had a revelation about how much I was lowballing myself came about a year after I started speaking at events and conferences. At the time, I was working a full-time job and just getting a feel for how to value my work as Broke Millennial in my spare time. This included speaking engagements, brand partnerships, and writing articles. Working full-time also gave me far less urgency when it came to pricing my services because it wasn't my primary means of income. Every bit of additional income that came my way through Broke Millennial just felt exciting. Basically, I wasn't treating it like a business. I give you all this background so you can understand my mindset at that point in my career. A woman in charge of hiring me for a panel discussion had pitched the idea to me on the phone and then directly asked how much I would charge to fly across the country and speak. My answer? $3,000 plus travel expenses? I even phrased my response as a question. "Oh, yeah, that works great for us," she said. A friend of mine was hired to speak on the same panel. We had similar experience levels, we were both traveling from the same city to this speaking engagement, we were both women and nearly the same age. It was as if all the possible factors for why we might get paid different amounts had been deliberately controlled for in this particular case, just to teach me a lesson. Over dinner and after a little liquid courage, I directly asked my friend how much she was getting paid for speaking on the panel. $10,000, she told me. My jaw dropped. She was making $7,000 more than I was for the same work. While a little bit of envy crept into my brain, I was mostly so appreciative that she shared that information because it showed me what was possible. But finding out you're making $10,000 less than a coworker or negotiated for $7,000 less than a friend isn't the worst that could happen, because a fear of discussing salary isn't always as black and white as the worry that you'll be rejected or judged by your coworker. The real concern could be potential backlash directly from your employer. Before we discuss how to even ask your coworkers how much they make, let's first address the perceived and sometimes real risk of talking salaries.